Middle vascular coat of the eyeball. The middle coat is often called vascular coat because it contains most of the blood vessels of the eyeball. It is frequently known as uveal tract by the clinicians. This coat contains a large number of melanin-containing cells. It consists of 3 parts. From behind forwards, these are choroid, ciliary body, and iris. These 3 parts together form the uvea or the uveal tract. Choroid. The choroid is the posterior part of the vascular coat of the eyeball. It is a brown, thin, and highly vascular membrane lining the inner surface of the sclera. Anteriorly, it is connected to the iris by the ciliary body, and posteriorly, it is pierced by the optic nerve. Arteries. They are derived from short ciliary arteries which pierce the sclera around the optic nerve. Veins. They are arranged in the form of whorls which converge to form the 4 or 5 venae verticose, which pierce the sclera just behind the equator to open into the ophthalmic veins. An important point to be noted here is that the inner surface of the choroid is firmly attached to the retina and nourishes the rods and cones of the retina by diffusion. Structure. It consists of 4 layers. From outside inwards, they are as follows. Suprachoroid lamina or lamina of Fusca. It consists of loose network of elastic and collagen fibers and is traversed by long posterior ciliary vessels and nerves. Vascular lamina. It consists of loose areolar tissue and pigment cells. It contains branches of short posterior ciliary arteries and veins which converge in whorls to form 4 or 5 vena verticose which pierce the sclera and drain into the ophthalmic veins. Capillary lamina, also known as capillary layer of choroid. It consists of fine network of capillaries which nourish photoreceptors of the retina, which are rods and cones, by diffusion. Basal lamina, membrane of Bruch. It is a thin transparent membrane which is firmly attached to the pigment cell layer of the retina. The last 3 layers form the choroid proper, which is separated from sclera by suprachoroid lamina. Ciliary body. The ciliary body is a thickening in the vascular tunic. It is continuous with the choroid behind and the iris in front. It is situated posterior to the corneoscleral junction in front of the ora serrata of the retina. The ciliary bodies suspend the lens via suspensory ligaments. Parts of the ciliary body. The ciliary body is triangular in cross-section, thick in front, and thin behind. The ciliary body consists of a ciliary ring, ciliary processes, and ciliary muscle. The ciliary ring is an outer fibrous ring which is continuous with the choroid. Ciliary processes are a group of 60 to 90 folds on the inner aspect of the ciliary body. They are arranged radially between the ciliary ring and the iris. The grooves between the processes provide attachment to the fibers of suspensory ligament of the lens. The ciliary processes are a complex of capillaries and cuboidal epithelium which secretes aqueous humor. The ciliary processes may be compared with choroidal plexus of the brain ventricles involved in the secretion of CSF. The ciliary muscle is a small, unstriped, smooth muscle mass consisting of mainly 2 types of fibers, outer radial fibers and inner circular fibers. Functions. Its main function is to focus the lens for near vision. The ciliary muscle as a whole acts as a sphincter. Therefore, when its muscle fibers, both radial and circular, contract, the choroid is pulled towards the lens, reducing the tension on the suspensory ligaments. This allows the lens to assume a more spherical form because of its own elastic nature. Now, lens can cause more refraction needed for accommodation. Iris. The iris is a contractile diaphragm between the cornea and the lens. An opening in its center is called the pupil. The iris is attached at its periphery to the middle of the anterior surface of the ciliary body. Peripheral to this attachment, the ciliary body and narrow rim of sclera form the iridocorneal angle. Structure. The iris consists of 4 layers. From before backwards, these are as follows: an anterior mesothelial lining, a connective tissue stroma containing pigment cells and blood vessels, a layer of smooth muscle which consists of 2 parts: constrictor pupillae, which is near the margin of the pupil part made of circular fibers. Dilator pupillae is a peripheral part made up of radial fibers. Nerve supply. Constrictor pupillae is supplied by the parasympathetic fibers and dilator pupillae by the sympathetic fibers. Actions. The constrictor and dilator pupillae constricts and dilates the pupil respectively. A posterior layer of pigment cells, which is continuous with the ciliary part of the retina.